Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the All Facts Podcast. Today is Sunday, I'm sorry, Sunday, February 4th, 2024. Uh, the picture speaks a thousand words. I think this picture says a lot. Today, we're going to talk about the family destruction agenda. Now, I believe that Hollywood is doing a good job of sending celebrities out to for us to copy and mimic their behavior. Um, it's not only a family destruction, it's also the demasculation, if I'm saying that word right, of men, totally taking our manhood away from us. I think men now, right now, are having a real tough time in trying to be men. I think it's actually toxic to be a real man nowadays, especially for black men. I think a lot of it has to do with uh, black men trying to assimilate themselves to white culture and softening our appearance uh, to white people in general. I think that uh, take it back when I was growing up. I was growing up in the '70s, and even then, the black man is our image is just very intimidating. When I was coming up, if you, I'm sure, it was plenty of homosexuality going on when I was coming up, but it was so shameful to be a homosexual at that time where it would be totally closeted. Now it's shameful for you not to be in the closet. And I guess it's better off for you to be out. Now, Will Smith has gone through a lot of different gay rumors. I'm sure everybody's heard about these gay rumors that Will Smith has uh, been going through. Um, I don't think we're gonna get into all of this stuff, but I'm pretty sure since what was the name of that movie? The Degrees of Separation movie that he did way back in the day, and the Medina guy that he was involved with that actually was supposed to be who Will Smith was in the sitcom that he was in. He was that sitcom was based on this Medina guy, and it was said that MC Shan said that this Medina guy said that he could have the show if there was to do some sexual favors involved. So that's just in a nutshell to say how Will Smith has been tied to a lot of homosexuality. Now, Jada Pinkett, she's a character in herself. And like I said, this picture speaks a thousand words. This is when they were on the Red Table Talk, and she was talking about her entanglement that she had with the Alcina dude, and actually had Will Smith come up here and actually just totally humiliate himself and his marriage and his family in general. I mean, I can imagine how his kids felt about this situation, but she felt like it was a good thing to bring him up there and do what she's doing now, just straight laugh in his face. I mean, do he look like he's enjoying this show right here as much as she is? I don't think so. But I, you know, I think we need to talk about this because it filters down to all of us. Like me myself, I'm going through a lot of problems in my marriage at this point. Not blaming it on Will Smith or nothing. I've been married for 15 years, and my marriage is going its way. But I'm sure a lot of us are going through the same things. And it is extremely, extremely hurtful to everybody involved. But a lot of these women now are feeling like they're actually trapped inside of their marriage because they don't assimilate to what it is to be a woman being married. It's a tough pill to swallow. Really, really tough pill to swallow because as far as being black and being in America, we really need each other as black men and women. Take this back to the Black Panther movement. I don't think the Black Panther movement wouldn't have been worth nothing if it wasn't for the women that was involved. I mean, the free lunch program was designed by the women because they felt like the children needed better nutrients and better food choices that weren't being provided by the school system. It was empowering us to take care of ourselves and our own needs. Same as we went through back in the, I guess that would be in the 70s, early 70s, late 60s with the trash. Uh, these Italian trash companies were not willing to pick up the trash in black neighborhoods. This went on in New York City. It also went. I'm here in New Haven, Connecticut. It also went on here in New Haven, Connecticut. We have the Freddie Fixer Parade to commemorate that. Freddie Fixer Parade is all pretty much all done at this point for a lot of foolishness that was happening in the 80s and 90s with black violence and drugs and gangs and all the rest of this stuff, like everywhere else in this country. But that movement has been pretty much terminated. But back when like I was saying, when the black family is together, the black people are together. And when the black family is separated, black people are separated. If we're separated, we have no legs to stand on. Now, I believe that it's not just marriage that separates us. It's also our belief in what racism is between us and black women. Uh, Black women don't experience racism the same way we do. Not saying that they don't experience it because they do. They experience it in a way that attacks their beauty, it attacks their hair, it attacks their skin, it attacks their bodies, it attacks their sexuality. And that creates an insecurity in all those things I just mentioned above. And you couple that with social media, and that form of racism is extremely impactful on the black woman's self-esteem. I think that has a lot to do with the this whole feminist movement that we have. I believe this feminist movement comes from insecurity. That's just what I believe. Now, like I said, racism is experienced in two different ways. As black men, we have the racism of them not allowing us to be men at all. One way to be a man is financially. If you don't have money, then you are not a man as far as this capitalist society is concerned. It's not what I believe, but that is what has been produced in a capitalist society. Another way that we experience racism is by being not being able to work on our own. Uh, we don't get the loans that we're supposed to get to start businesses, and us, even if we were not making that much money, but we were working on our own, it does a lot for your self-esteem. I mean, a lot of people would agree that they would rather work for themselves for less money than working for someone else making more money, because the racism that we go on in the job place, that is prevalent also, where we will get passed over for these management positions, understandably, when it comes down to that, because if you have a Spanish person that's a manager, they're bilingual. If you have a white person that's a manager, they're assumed to be smarter and more proficient than a black man. This is just what this culture is, this westernized culture has produced. So it makes it extremely difficult for a black man to actually be a man that a woman can respect. Another thing that we go through is uh, home ownership and actually, having a place to live. I mean, I'm just talking for myself. Very few men that I know live on their own without living with their baby's mama, their wife, or their mother. Very few, very few men that I know, especially uh, younger men. When I say younger men, I'm older, so I'm gonna say between the ages of 25 and 35. To find a man that actually has his own apartment, let alone his own house, without a baby's mama or a Section 8 voucher or anything of those nature, for him to have that is, I don't know too many black men that have that. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's all men, but I'm just speaking for black men. So in that, I think it's very, very difficult for a black man to be a man, period. So you couple that with this feminist uh, movement that we have. You couple that with the homosexual agenda that we have, and then how that would trickle down into how our children, our future generations, will perceive all of this. And I believe in the next 20 years, family will not exist, or will exist in a way that will be totally unrecognizable. I believe marriage in general, when you start to say that, you got same sex marriages at this point, uh, that we're at, that are being endorsed. And I'm not coming down on homosexuals at all. You know, just like I love women, for a man to love another man is something that I believe cannot just be erased out of a man's mind. Same thing for a woman. I don't believe that these things, once you have these things inside of you that causes you to be attracted to your own sex, I don't believe that they can be erased. So when it comes to that, I believe that people are going to try their best to be happy, period. So if you are homosexual, then I believe that you will try your hardest to have a relationship with the person that you love. So I'm not getting on that. But when we get down to taking vows, and we'll talk about Christian vows, because I'm a Christian. I believe that most Christians are. I think Christianity comes from. Uh, I think it spawns off the Jewish faith. So I believe that we're very close to Jews, and I love my Jewish people. I really do. I'm not just saying that because what we're going through as far as this community with the anti-Semitic things, all this stuff that's going on. I really, deep down in my heart, you know, I think that I'm a Jew. I believe in Yahweh as as my as my creator. And you know, I am a Christian. I've been raised a Christian, but I respect Jews so much that I feel like I'm a Jew at heart. That being said, does the Jewish and Christian religion actually endorse making a vow like that to Yahweh? Actually, getting married, I believe, is a spiritual bond that it bonds you spiritually so that physically you are one being. That being said, can that happen in homosexuality? Because in homosexuality, there is no fruit to be bare because of this union. Now, I believe that that's the only reason why the union has to be spiritual, is because in this spiritual bond and the physical bond will produce life. I believe all life belongs to Yahweh. So that being said, are we breaking uh our covenant with Yahweh by having same-sex marriage? Now, I'm not saying that you can't love someone of the same sex. That's not something that I believe in. But if you do, should you actually get married? And why should you? That's my point. So I'm saying all that to say this. I digress. Marriage is a spiritual thing. And if marriage is a spiritual thing and it is corrupted, what happens to the spiritual bond between a man and a woman? And can we be bonded together without a spiritual bond? So these two, and I'm gonna be honest. I believe that this marriage is not real. I believe that it's a Hollywood marriage. I believe that it's scripted. I believe that these two were put together because they look good together. Uh, their children that came from this, if you notice, one's name is Will and one's name is Jada. The girl's name is Will and the boy's name is Jada. I don't think that's a coincidence. I believe that's part of the agenda. I believe that these people are controlling us as the lower of the class through what we believe is them being the higher of the class. And I believe that when we watch them, we mimic their behavior, whether it be conscious or self-conscious. We also have Remy and Papoose. I love Papoose. It's my man. But what he's going through is total humiliation. Now, Rim has never really she never said that she's never admitted to cheating on him, but her not admitting it and being and continually being seen with what's the dude's name? Something to block. I should have my notes in front of me. This is my first podcast, by the way, and I'm really believing that this is gonna get better and better as it go. By the time I get to 500, I should be on the move by then. But back to what I was saying about uh, her being in public with this new guy and not actually saying that she didn't do anything. I mean, even if she was, she could have said, there's nothing happening, there's nothing going on, or that, this is just business. You guys got it wrong. She could have lied, but she didn't say anything. So that to me is her saying without saying that she's doing that. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Now I didn't see her and Papoose getting divorced yet. Same as I don't see Will and Jada getting divorced. Uh then you got I mean, we can keep going down the list with all these different celebrities and their marriages getting going like this. Cardi B and her husband, you know, that's another one. I don't know if they're divorced yet. I don't think so. I don't think so. As of yet, I believe that they're separated. Now, Offset, uh, I mean, he was doing a lot of moving around on her. I mean, he publicly asked her to remarry him and all that. She took him back, and now they seem like they split up. Rumors going around that she's kind of sleeping around now. Then you got Blueface that's not even married, and this whole thing with his baby's mama and Krishan Rock, and oh, that poor baby. I mean, I seen pictures of the baby's eye, and the way she was holding him, and when the lady caught her in Walmart with the neck bent back and everything. Oh man, that poor baby. I just feel terrible. But I guess she felt like, I'm pretty sure she was doing drinking and doing drugs while she was pregnant. I mean, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. That's allegedly. I really hope I'm wrong, but I don't think so. And that baby gonna have to pay for that. Blueface is you know, he's not in the child's life, and he has his own, he doing his own thing. Now they not married though, but it's still a black relationship. Now you tell me what I mean, I was gonna say what white relationships we see, but uh, we see the Johnny Depp and just and what's her name, Jessica Hurd, I believe her name is. We see that relationship, but that relationship didn't spawn any children. Well, that was definitely a marriage. That was crazy. That was crazy. But you know, I just believe that it's not only an attack on the family. I believe it's attack on the spiritual bond between a man and a woman, which is Christianity. Uh, I watched the porn star. Man, I can't remember his name. He has the podcast. Oh man, dude, he got the tattoos and everything. And I can't remember his name, but he's married to the porn star. And he says uh he felt like it was the best fu to God by allowing someone to sleep with his wife while he was married. I thought that was interesting. I thought that was interesting to say the most. I mean, to say the least, should I say? I thought that was extremely interesting because he has an inverted cross on his face. Adam 22, that's his name. Adam 22. He got an inverted cross on his face. He says he's not a Satanist, but I don't believe him. Part of being a Satanist is saying you're not. Um, but he said that, and I thought that was interesting. The reason why I thought it was interesting is because, like I said, I believe that it's not just an attack on the family and on the marriage. I believe it's an attack on Christianity. Now, Black folks are, in my opinion, now, see, I'm getting a little political now. I don't know how this will go on YouTube. Black folks, in my opinion, are more spiritual than most people. Now, I mean, look at how we are in church. I mean, look at I mean I mean, look, this is my opinion. You guys can pick this apart if you want. But I believe that within this, now you take this back to slavery, and it was illegal for black people to get married because we were the property of someone else. So in marriage itself, when you talk about the capitalist part of being married, had to do with land ownership. So how could you own land if you were owned by someone? If you were property, just like cattle or chicken or cotton for that matter. Same way they own the land, they own the people. So it was illegal for us to get married. And to show us how much power that the slave owner had, you know, we would jump the broom and do all of this stuff to let everybody else know that we loved each other and we were married and our children, we were a family. When the slave owner would see this, he would rape the the wife and have his own children through her, and usually sell the male off somewhere else and split that family up. This was part of slavery, and this went on and on and on and on through uh, the years of all these hundreds of years of slavery. This went on. Part of it was for them to break our bloodlines up. This was part of the amnesia of slavery, for us not to know who we were, where we came from. We didn't know our languages. We didn't know our customs or our heritage in no way, shape, or form. Because what happens is, you know, through generations, it's handed down. All the information is handed down. They will continually break us up. So we weren't able to hand the generations down. So we continually had to start from the beginning, from babies. Now, this was part of the making of a nigga. Now, you know, when I was coming up in the 70s, we were Generation X. And my generation was a very, very powerful generation. My generation was the generation that actually invented hip hop. Hip hop came from uh, a form of trying to get away from gang life. And it was a way that we were uniting and having fun. I mean, you have break dancers, we had graffiti artists, and we had DJing, and we had MCs. MCs came from the DJ and from the parties in the park. And Kool Herc and Africa Bambaataa and all in these people, you know, in order for them to have a party, they had to have control of the gangs because the gangs would come in there stabbing and cutting and tearing the party up over turf. You know, you had to have the permission to have this party. You know, if it wasn't a gang party, then they were gonna tear it up. So, you know, Africa Bambaataa had to create peace with these gangs in order for us to have fun in the parks. You know, this has come from a time when we had actually had to steal the electricity from the pole so that we can plug our stuff up to it. This was from a time when we had to actually invent speakers so that they could be loud enough to play so everybody could hear in the party. We had Grandmaster Flash that actually invented uh, parts of the crossfader or the crossfader in general. You know, uh, we had to actually create our own clothes. I remember uh, tie dyeing my pants. I remember making two-tone jeans, making my own two-tone jeans. I remember sewing the bottom of our jeans. I'm saying all that to say we were extremely creative and rebellious generation. We were rebelling on the fact that we, you know, before that we was just slaves. We were nothing. You know, you come from slavery and then you move to Jim Crow, where we can't sit on the bus, we can't drink in the same water fountains. You know, watermelon joke comes from, you know, we were making a lot of money as black folks selling each other watermelon. And that was another thing that was keeping our wealth within, you know, our communities, making a lot of money off of selling watermelon. So white man came in there and started making fun of us selling watermelon with these depictions of these black people eating watermelon, and stopped us from wanting to eat watermelon. So it slowed that whole thing down. You take it, well, the whole market down. You take it that to nowadays, uh, you know, watermelons with black seeds in them are extremely valuable. We talking 20 some dollars a watermelon in some places. And you know, in I'm sure in New York City and here in New Haven, they were actually stopping people and stealing trucks, watermelon trucks from these people, not wanting us to make money. Here again, like I said, the demasculation of a black man and not keeping him a boy and not letting him allowing him to be a man in the family. So I'm saying all of that to say this. Destroy the family, you destroy the community. Black folks have, from my generation X, have moved on to doing great things. From Grandmaster Flash to off the Big Daddy Kane, off the LL Cool J, off the 50 Cent, off to Michael Jordan, to Michael Jackson, to Mike Tyson, on off to everything else that we've done, all the way up until this man we looking in front of us, Will Smith. And now we got the picture that we got here. They have separated our women. They have made our women not believe in us as men and not believe in themselves as being beautiful women. They've taken on this persona of being the strong black woman instead of being the demure, beautiful black woman that actually supports and understands her black man. And in turn, they've turned our children into, what can I say, satanic children that just love the world and are totally against all things that are Christ. Like, we are in an anti-Christ system. I don't believe that the antichrist is coming back as a man. I believe that he's coming back through men and women. I believe that we are in antichrist as we speak. Now, when you talk about revelations, there are a few things that need to happen first. I believe that we are in the time of all four horses. I believe that we are in the time of the beast and of the harlot riding the beast with her glass full of, I forgot what they call it, but blasphemy, her glass of blasphemy. And I believe that this whole thing of the destruction of the marriage, the destruction of the family, is an antichrist situation. Man, what else can I say? Well, I'm about to end it right there. This is My name is Yasel. This is my first podcast. This is All Facts TV. I will post probably once every day. I'm sure it'll get better from here. This is podcast number 1. Like you see on here, Code for Self, essential oils. This is a whole skincare line. It uses all natural, all organic essential oils, patchouli, frankincense, myrrh. Uh, we use neem oil. We also have jojoba and olive oil, extra virgin, cold pressed olive oil as a carrier. Smells great. And I should have my website up by the end of the month. I'm going to continue to put podcasts up. I'm going to continue to work on my oil and my whole skincare line. My skincare line has to do with the oils are just the beginning. I will have candles, soaps, bath bombs, deodorant, and I'm looking to create toothpaste. It's been a pleasure speaking to y'all this Sunday. I hope y'all have a very good night and shalom.